and boys at all in the temple. Maybe they'll let us go up there, but there are a lot of...
CP squared has 51 minus degrees of freedom, making...
On the way home, I got hungry, and I ate it.
We're Americans, and we only like competition, okay? I'm eating, and I'm reading a book, and this waitress comes up.
Robot, but it is controlled by living brain cells, much like those inside your head. Researchers...
This moth isn't just swinging around, it's been bugged.
Grow collections around 3,000 brain cells in the lab. The cells grow collections with each other and start communicating
using electrodes implanted into the muscle.
Some are hard to found out respond dictatively to signals from robots or ultrasound distance sensor.
Here, signals are sent to its left flight muscle to make it lift that wing.
The output of these cells can be used to control
different signals can be sent for it to lower its wing, to lift both wings at once, or to make them flat.
They each have a motor in them, and it actually drives forward when I walk. It actually powers that knee through the step. It's powered through Bluetooth technology.
Increasing the frequency of the pulse makes the wings beat faster. If a signal is sent only to one side while the moth is flying, it will veer in that direction. Implanted electrodes into the brains of tree beetles,
and they
close to
talk to
neurons
each other
that
and try to
control
mimic
flight.
the stride length.
A computer
that the
program
other
in the
one's doing. If I
device
speed
controls
up,
the
the other one
beetle,
can realize
and
it's
here
doing it,
it
and
beats
it'll
its
speed up
wings
as well.
and takes off when a negative voltage is sent to its brain. Researchers are putting moths in control and using them as a pair of eyes. They've found out how to intercept signals from their visual system and how to use them to make a robot move. Here, a graduate student demonstrates how the robot can be steered. Combining living and machine components could eventually make robotic systems more effective.
Legs when an IED hit his convoy in Fallujah, Iraq in 2006. The IED went off directly underneath me and took off basically everything that was hanging over the ledge of the seat, my legs. And then it killed my sergeant in front of me and my good friend next to me. My gunner lost his right leg. I shattered my hip. I had 32 pins in my hip. I broke my pelvis, so I have a 6-inch screw holding that together. I lost both legs above the knee. I broke 4 fingers, broke my jaw, broke my nose, lacerated kidney. So I recovered well, I think, and great care here.
Did you seriously think you could somehow change the world from here?
Yeah, sort of at first.
And how do you feel about it now?
I'm not blazing with satisfaction or anything. But the truth is, it all ended for me the instant I shared my memories with you. At that point, my work was done. I figured that you'd probably be able to run with it from there.
All you're a hell of a liar, kid. I clearly recall you didn't want me involved.
I'm sorry, but the minute you share and synchronize all your information, you lose your uniqueness and become absorbed into the unconscious maliciousness of a third party that has no motive. Or perhaps it's the will of someone who does have one.
Are those your words based on what you've gained from hard-earned experience?
Yes, and the fact is, you yourself played the role of a laughing man copycat as well.
Well, I have to admit it was a fascinating phenomenon. At any rate, what was your underlying reason for triggering such a huge event in the first place?
To you, everything that's happening in the world appears phony, to be something other than what it is, right?
Is that TV sound, Jim?
Yes. When it comes to cyberization, I'm pretty much the shining example of a poster boy. So you'd think at the very least I would have felt terrified at the thought of contracting cyberbrain sclerosis. I'll tell you, it was a simple piece of mail I stumbled across on the net that began this whole thing. What I found was a blackmail document that had probably been sent to Serrano Genomics. It was armed with a thesis that was a comparative study of the inadequacy of Serrano micromachines versus the effectiveness of the Corona vaccine.
Then the original laughing man was the person who altered it.
You could put it like that, I suppose. I am the machine that reveals the world to you as only I alone am able to see it.
See the Plato? He was a Russian filmmaker, wasn't he?
Yes, I was kidding myself by thinking it was my personal mission to prove and circulate that information, vital data I alone could happen upon.
Failing spectacularly, the pure innocent mediator proved dejected at the base nature of the social system and he turned mute.
Yes, it was because of that I became a vanishing mediator. Just like an author whose existence is emphasized with the fact that he rarely puts out any new works for publication. In other words, by disappearing, the axis of the dynamism of the social system. For sociological theory, it ultimately vanishes, leaving no trace of its presence inside or outside the system.
Frederick James, I believe.
Yes, and no. Masachi Osawa too, even though I was familiar with the words.
All right, here we blow the idiocracy, everyone. Here's the
On a spin,
beginning.
that we're on a spinning globe and spinning so much while other things are spinning at the same time, and all the configurations of the planets and the sun.
Jesus Christ, you're so dumb, lady.
Nothing. Chrissy's being stupid again. Christy, listen to yourself. I hate to see this happen to you. You're my best friend.
Oh, that you played that a little bit too long.
Really, Christy.
Well, we'll
So
cut out
complex
stuff we
that
need.
no human mind could completely grasp them. I never grasped
That's not how it works. We can understand.
it. See, the Christian scientists went by observable science, and they knew very well that the Earth is flat the way the Bible describes it.
It's terrible. I thought at least we get a good story out of it.
Okay, I decided that would be a silly opener. She gets even worse and more into. But let's bring in. Let's do this first, and then we'll bring in our guest, and then we'll. I guess we're gonna go over the Greg Locke thing. Everybody's talking about it in the side chat, and I was gonna go over other stuff, but fuck it, let's totally do that. I'm down for sure.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
It's just like Killer Cop 4, but she's got Hema instead of fry cook balls. I need you, Action Bastard. Action Bastard, I need you. Action Bastard, I need you. Why am I wasting time dancing?
You want to know why? Because the world is fucking flat, dog. And everything that you see up there, as far as like planets or stars, yeah, guess what, dude? It's fucking fake. It's just lights up there. The government put those lights up there so you dummies could just act like there's something up there.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?
Call a crackhead. You're stupid. Yeah. Yeah.
Mama!
Oh, Mama.
Let's make it happen, Captain.
There we go. I pretty much had it got down.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's a lot
I'll
more
give it an
funner
8 out of
than-
10. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot more funner to do it that way than to bring y'all in one at a time. And
True.
Anyways, how's everyone doing?
Good. Good.
Awesome. So yeah, I guess we're talking about Greg Locke and that thingy mabobber that happened. Let's I'm gonna go ahead and click on this to get to it. We're going to do it the fast way though, or we're gonna okay. This let me say hello to the side chat, and then we're gonna do it this way. Everybody think about it first. But one, if we just want to go over the gentleman that he's debating and his PowerPoint proofs, or do we want to hear them debate each other? So one for just to hear the biblical stance that the gentleman who thinks the earth is flat give his PowerPoint. It's 2 hours long. And then the last hour is, 1 hour is Greg Locke giving his part of it, not proving that. And then the last hour before he gets a microphone thrown at him is their debate.
Yeah.
So do we want to just go over the flat
It's
earthers?
a total of
PowerPoint?
4 hours.
Yeah, it's a 4 hour thingy, mabobber. So
yeah, I know what part I
everybody-
prefer. But we'll
Sweet.
see what the
So-
side chat.
Yeah,
see what
so
side chat says.
so everybody, let's go ahead and say hello to the side chat, and then
Hello.
we'll get there,
Mhm.
and see. I could make it a poll, but fuck it. Just put in a 1 or a 2, or
We've already
just
seen his poll.
Yeah.
You know.
or you could just
I
put
don't
what
wanna
part
see
you
his
would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've all seen my holes. I mean, Jeebus
Mhm.
Christ, I've been doing this too long.
I've been doing it
that-
so long,
especially
honey,
my,
you know.
especially you know how many times you've seen my mouth hole? Too many times.
We get desensitized to it after a while, Slim. You know how that works.
Exactly.
You know? It's so many
All right.
times.
Yeah. So, hello, Demon Orb.
And
Hello, Demon.
yeah, even though Greg Locke was on our side this time, he is against of seeing polls.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He's against seeing
definitely-
polls. Mhm.
He's scared of polls.
And witches on
Yeah.
polls. And, you know, a lot of other things.
There is the mangoes.
Also taking off balls.
Mm-hmm.
Or
We
changing
have a
balls.
Tubians, a Lucifer Almighty.
Hello.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're gonna get into that because actually some of the people on the panel, we know a little bit about the Bible as well. And so like that's the other reason why I feel comfortable doing some of these things that are with religion, because I've actually read the Quran, well, most of the Quran, even the Scientology stuff and other things. I've basically gotten a limited knowledge of, or at least read most of the doctrine, the ideology, their
Ideology,
Bible
doctrines,
version.
pretty
Yeah,
much the
yeah,
same thing.
all of the ideas of that. And what's crazy about Christianity is there's a gazillion and a half freaking different versions of Christianity. Yes, Judaism has the same thing. Well, not as many, but yes, in Judaism, the Jewish faith, there are a handful of different versions. Amish, same thing. Mormonism, there's a couple different versions. Scientology, I think there's only one. But other than that, most religions have variations of it. Even Buddhist and Hinduism, I believe there's
Right.
different variations of it. It's on how extreme you want to be with it. So anyways, hello, Jay Troy. And
Troy.
let's see if there's any. Oh, we have a majestic.
Mm-hmm.
Beck.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Beck.
And let's see.
And Commander. Did you
Yeah.
say hi to Commander?
Commander.
Yeah, I think we did. And if
Commander.
we did not, hi, Commander. I
And
think
Commander,
they're
I
busy
hope you
for-
do get to see Starsky tomorrow. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably 3,000 in the US different versions of Christianity. I think that's what you were getting at. But
Well, Christian
so-
religions. We have to identify that Christianity is not a religion.
No,
There are
well,
different
yeah, the
Christian
sects.
religions.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
different sects
Based
of
on
it, I guess, is-
Christianity. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like 50 different
Because everybody interprets
translations
it
of
differently, so they got to have all
Yeah,
these different
and it's-
religions. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. There's
there's
the
really no one
non-
true religion. Sorry, that's not how
well,
that
no,
works.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
'Cause if there was-
about my opinion, because I can't disprove or prove any of the religions, I'm just
Yeah.
open to all of them because they can all be true or all be wrong. I can't say, so I accept them all.
Dude, as soon as I get in front of the whatever deity is the thing that is the stuff of whichever religion and whichever version, I'm just gonna go, how could I decide, you weirdo? Like, it's your fault, not mine. Like, I didn't know what to follow. There's Native American
It's
and
like-
different Native American.
It's like, dude, sorry, but there are people out there interpreting you in so many different ways. I didn't know which one of you to follow.
Yeah, and then I'm just pretty much gonna go. I tried to not rape, steal, cheat, lie, and murder. I tried to not do those things. You know, like I tried my hardest to not.
But I'm only human.
but you gave me this power of sin or whatever. Never mind.
I still say that a more God religion, like the old-fashioned Nordic or the old Greek or the old Egyptian religions, are more logic because that explains also the bad things.
Yeah.
That's why I like Satan so much. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. No, well, there's the yin and yang in certain, Asian religion. There's the good with the bad, and you have to have this. And Christianity, I didn't notice that being presented at us in that way per se, but there's good and evil in everything. And
the one thing with Christianity, though, whenever somebody does good, oh, that was God working in their life. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, that was the person doing it themselves.
And
you know what I mean?
For example, what's now happening to Mango with their son and everything.
Yeah.
Then it's not God. Then it's just happening.
It's happening,
ridiculous.
right.
She has the bad luck.
You must have done something
the worst
wrong
case
in
of
your
bad luck
whatever
at
life,
the
some
moment
people
is
think.
possible.
Or the worst thing is he's testing your faith.
Or he's punishing you. Yeah.
It's anyways.
It's like, no, that's not how that works.
So anyways, what we're doing is, if you would like to see the PowerPoint from the gentleman who wants to say the earth is flat through biblical script or texts or from the Bible, put one. But if you want to see Greg Locke actually debate him, even though like it literally is like a boxing match between like a 6-year-old girl and Mike Tyson. I mean, literally, like it's pretty
I've seen
bad.
2 number 2s. I previously saw 2 number 2s.
Yeah.
I haven't seen number 1s.
Okay.
I think that would be better. The second
we should
part would be a lot
probably
better.
just go through once they begin actually debating, and then we'll
Lucifer's
get to
asking
the
to play
part.
the Antarctica part. Isn't that in their debate though?
Yeah,
or is that when they're sitting down right together?
Yeah, no. So I'm not going to spoil it. No. We're just going to do that. I figured, but I wanted to give people choices, and like that's part of how we do this is make it. We're democratic, even though I'm the dictator. But anyway,
we're talking about the part where they're both sitting next to each other and just having a conversation. Yeah.
Don't forget the selfie moments with Michael Toon and Dave Weiss.
Oh God, yes.
Dave White didn't even recognize them, Michael.
MC Toon had his. I guess he was there when it happened with his family.
Yeah,
so he did his own little review of it on his week or 2 ago, or last week, I think it was.
Okay, so I'm going to try here. He's
and of course,
still
David Weiss
talking.
talked smack about him afterwards too.
Yeah. But he was handsome.
Dearth. Man, I don't like him. When he emotionally manipulated that elderly woman, that was where I totally. I don't hate people, but at that point, I hated him. You know, I don't hate people very easily, I should say. That made me have hate for him for what he was doing because he was happy about what he did.
Oh,
you know? Mm-hmm.
I saw it.
Mm.
And she was just happy to have a conversation on her age and just agreed with everything.
Yep. And he smiled at the end like, I got her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
She didn't even remember her school.
No. He just played her like crazy.
Yeah, it was horrible what they did. But we're going to start here and just see exactly, because I think it's actually like the last 30 minutes.
Oh, that last part? Happens. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It does, but it doesn't matter because it's gold. So let's start here. I think Greg Locke is still saying his part of.
I think he was toward the end of his, wasn't he?
Yeah, and well, it's
and
after,
then as soon as he mentioned,
section.
Because as soon as he mentioned something, this guy came up and was like pissed off with him for, you know.
Yeah, so he's still going over the Bible verses that do not prove the Earth's flat. That actually, well, he claims that's the opposite. So let's just watch a little bit of this, and I think, and we'll skip ahead. Let's go to like here, and if we have enough time, we'll go back into his original argument, the PowerPoint that the flat earther
Two verses,
says.
one concept.
So let's just go with this.
Psalm
first.
103. Some of you know where I'm going. You was hoping I didn't know this one was in the Bible. Verse 11 and 12.
If it's too fast, let me know, and I'll slow it
For
down.
as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. Now, do you believe that? Yes or no? I do. As the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy. But
okay, so I cheated a little bit besides watching some of this. Telltale, he went over this, and I watched his going over the words. I mean the basics of certain parts that had like the most poignant moments.
Right.
And just listen to how like at this point nobody in the crowd is saying anything. You know how normally I don't know how many of you actually watched him before, but normally when he goes amen or he says something like,
oh god, yeah,
the crowd cheers hardcore. Listen to how nobody is cheering as of right now. It's really weird.
But that was because the MC June actually said that all the normal people already left because it took way too long.
Such a
only
long
the flat
thing.
earther state.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have no glove to throw into the fight or whatever the fuck that weird phrase is, then why would you be staying here? It's only the fucking flat earthers that would be sticking around because they want to prove, you know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones who have a glove in the fight or the whatever the fuck. So anyways, let's keep blowing on. So just really quick, why I stopped it was to listen to how there's nobody in the audience yet, and then listen to what happens to him and the other dude with the audience when they start debating. This is really fucking weird.
if you believe there's a limit to the heaven, you've limited God's mercy. And Romans says that any height or depth can take you away from the love of God. So if you're going to tell me there's a structure that's blocking the rest of the heaven, you have just minimized the mercy of God. For as the heaven in the same...
This is the really scary part about him. This just proves he's smart as fuck. He is just grifting. He knows this is all fucking fake.
Oh, he
knows how to manipulate the scripture to get it to say exactly, you know what I'm saying? He knows where to find it, or he probably hires like 4 or 5 editors or writers or something, right? And he's like, I want to go in this direction. Like, I want witches this week, right?
Right.
And they have, he might be smart, and I'm sure he is, but it seems also like he does have writers or like maybe his
He's
wife
got people
is
helping him with the sermons and stuff for sure.
Because the way that he like knew this weird obscure phrase and to put it into here and to have this on like what it was 2 weeks that I think they had preparation for this or something, right? Didn't he say this like 2 weeks? Yeah. So okay. The 2 weeks, you spend 2 hours every night working on something for this debate. Sure, you could come up with all of this, but so anyways, what I wanted to say just is proof. He sounds too smart. You know, he is smart. He knows what the fuck is going on. He's definitely grifting y'all.
He's a grifter, and grifters have their scripts down pat.
Yeah, and he knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it, when to say amen. No, I need to hear, just like I do on stage.
That's how they bring people into their con,
Yeah, exactly. Just like what I do on stage when the audience isn't giving me enough emotions, I'm like, come on, give it up. You do the extra push.
Right.
Why aren't you, but you do the extra little thing, or you say more, or you make the joke afterward, or you point to the audience, or you point to people in the audience. There's a lot of he knows how to be a showman. He's a motherfucking showman. That's all I gotta say.
Hey Sydney.
If he was around during the carnival days, he would be a fucking carnival talker for sure. he would definitely be running a fucking freak show
If
sideshow.
this were 150 years ago,
oddities.
he would be run out of town, whatever town he's in.
Yeah. Or he would have been a snake oil salesman or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He would have been the fast talker in town that pool sharked you. You know, he would sit in the pool halls and pretend to play shitty until like $1,000 was on the table, and all of a sudden,
hustled you.
There you go. Yep. Been seeing that shit, you know. Or he would have been a carnival game worker or a carnival, you know, working inside of something. Although he probably would have been a televangelist tent preacher like this in the 1800s or 1600s. He probably still would have been the same thing.
I think the building is it's fixed. It's not a literal tent like it used to be.
Is he now? They're now in a permanent structure again?
I think it's a permanent structure that looks like a tent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totes.
I think they own the land and the whole 9 yards. He doesn't travel around from place to place to do this.
No,
you know
it's
I mean?
definitely in a place, but I think they
because
made it
the
more
revival,
of a permanent structure.
They think you think tent. Obviously, he's going to give him a tent, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's just go to here and just see.
The most vitriolic, divisive amount of bogusry on both sides. I'm not saying that we're not always, you know, the right ones. Listen, we're causing trouble too. We're throwing gas on the fire too. But I hope that at least we can understand that when we leave tonight, we get passionate, we get fired up, we talk back to the crowd, we throw maters and taters, we get that stuff all the time. We've been in the trenches for a long time. But if we're going to talk about being spiritually persecuted, make sure it's for the gospel. Not because of what you think the shape of the earth is.
Oh, yes. That's good.
That's a good scapegoat.
That's a good scapegoat.
You're going to keep all your followers still there. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, that's what flat earthers do. It's not about their spirituality. It's about, I'm a flat earther.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm shadow banned, and you're like persecuting me for even talking to, about me, whatever. It's like, no.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to get a lot closer to the end than I thought, which doesn't somewhat make sense. But let me just do this right quick. Let me just look through. I love that I can actually look through this now.
I think the Antarctica thing was when they were both sitting down next to each other. Then Antarctica came up at that point.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly what time stamp.
Oh, I am dumb. At the beginning is where before they did. I'm sorry.
The beginning is where they have the sit down little discussion. The end is where they have that like big dumpster fire at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to here and let's.
It's discussion, presentations, dumpster fire.
Okay. Let's go to the actual debate and listen to this, and then we'll go to the end where something happens that I already divulged, and I probably it doesn't matter.
I think people know about that part already anyway. It's very well.
Yeah, no, I'm sure most of us already know what's going on because I looked in my side chats, and excuse me, I burped. I looked in the side chat, and everybody was like, Greg Lockett, the flat earth. And I was like, okay, y'all know about it, so we might as well fucking go over it. And if y'all have already watched it, well, you brought it up, so we're going over it. But I think it's good for us to actually go over it because I think we're going over it in a different way than other people have gone over it. Because I did watch some other people go over it, and we definitely do things a different way than other people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went over Greg Locke before on this show in a completely different way and a completely different reason. And now we actually, with this, we are on his side. But that doesn't mean
on his side to a point.
We're on his side.
Well, the interesting thing that's happening that I never thought would happen is we'd be talking about Greg Locke and Flat Earth in one stream. On Jasper. A debate. Like I never thought that would be a thing, but like here we are, and like I'm actually really stoked on doing this. Hey,
I actually talked to Michael Tuner as well about this because I said I am actually against the guy about his ideas about transvestites and gays and everything. And I'm completely the opposite of his thinking about it. So I think he's not a nice person. But on this case, yeah, I'm on his side.
And especially what happens, what we're going to hear in just a second, which is fucking what he has set up for the flat earther and him to go and do is fucking amazing. And I'm sure I think everybody kind of knows what we're getting into, but here we blow.
Stuff on both sides of we're not going to be able to deal with all of it tonight, but we're going to do the best that we possibly can. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to respectfully get on your feet and give a good applause for the man of God, Pastor Dean Olu. Come on up here, Pastor. Thank you for being at our house tonight. We honor you. We welcome you. Hallelujah. All righty. Wonderful. Well, amen. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to have a lively time tonight. It's going to be exciting. I want you to just, kind of welcome the people and just kind of give us, and again, we won't take a long time with this, but, hey, church it until tomorrow, and you drove a long ways to get here, many of you, and so it's going to be a good time. Kind of give us just a working idea in the ministry of how you were led into this.
Okay, give us a second. Our channel sponsor just joined us. So here we go with their commercial. And welcome, Schismacrusher. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Skits.
Greg Locke has a forgotten channel. I'll have to check that out later. We'll see. Anyways.
Oh, okay. I see.
Anyways, so let's begin blowing on with this gentleman. They're going to turn on his microphone in just a second, and then he will begin blathering on like a flat earther. And the first thing I want to say is, if the earth was flat, why is your head so round and bald? Never mind.
Why does your head have a horizon?
Yeah. How can I see the moon setting under your head? I mean, never mind.
Why do things disappear behind your head?
Yeah.
Bottom first.
And why do I, when I get a close-up picture, when I get the camera for you close, I don't get the full.
As I walk down the aisle, I don't even remember.
How do I make your hair rise above the horizon? Never mind.
And prayed and accepted Jesus, and I was powerfully born again and baptized not long after that. But then, of course, I got into my teenage years. My parents divorced, and so we quit going to church. And of course, like most teenagers, I got into, my friends kind of drew me into alcohol and drugs and sexual immorality, and I got into all that real heavy during.
Okay, I'm going to turn it up for y'all just to let you know, warn you all, I'm turning it up. So
headphone warning.
You have headphone. It's you're not going to get blasted, but I'm just letting you know that I turned it up.
My high school years, my first year
there
in
we
college.
go. That's way better.
And so when I was 19 years old, I decided, well, I'm gonna go out and work. In fact, I was in Alabama. I was at Troy State University, it's now Troy, and I was really feeling depressed. I was partying. I was in Sigma Chi fraternity. I was getting drunk every night and partying every night, and I was getting burnt out.
Why were you being depressed about partying every night and getting laid?
Right.
And never mind. I hate this part of when people say this. Man, when I was in college and I was getting laid and having threesomes and orgies and drinking so much alcohol, no, you weren't, you dumb cunt. You wish you were, and that's what you're crying about now, and pretend you want to go back to those days.
But the thing is, even if you were, that was your young life.
Yeah, and then now you evolve.
We do things, right?
Yeah. And so why is that? Anyways, I hate when people do that. Man, when I was partying, it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Most people past 45 actually regret not doing it more.
Hey, I wish I would have done more stuff when I was younger. The only problem is when I think back, I'm like, well, I probably would have died if I would have done any more. So I'm glad I didn't, but I wish I could have. Let's put it that way.
That's why I said most.
Yeah. When I look back, I'm like, man, I should have died a gazillion and a half times. For some reason, I didn't. So I wish I could have done more, but that probably would have ended me in a grave. So never mind. And I'm glad I have all of the memories that I have, and I don't have to do all those things anymore. And yeah.
We're getting ready to do that.
That's a Christmas movie, by the way. I just want you to know that.
It is. Yeah, my favorite ornament's the one where he's in the air duct. And yeah, but I was going to just go work for the summer, and I was going to work for the summer and then go to Hollywood. Actually, that's where I was headed. And
Hollywood, Hollywood.
Jesus, and I knew everything he said was true. And then when he finally said, use the scripture for.
But why did you want to go to Hollywood if you believe?
And I was
in
convicted
Jesus?
for 3 weeks, and then somewhere on my day off, about a month into this, the Holy Spirit spoke to me. First time I really know that God spoke to me, and He said, "Son, you can have everything the world has to offer and go to hell, or you can surrender your life to me and live forever." And He was making me choose, and I could see if I went to Hollywood what was going to happen. The Lord just gave me a vision. I saw it, and I said, "Well, Lord."
So what really happened is you tried to make it in Hollywood, and you couldn't make it in Hollywood, just like 90% of the people, because like literally, like I could never live in Los Angeles. I always had to live in the outskirts of it because making it in Hollywood is fucking insanely hard.
Yes,
you have
it
to
is.
have the right connections. Your parents have to have enough money to throw down for you to be beautiful constantly, get your hair did, and go get the, your headshots, and to get a manager and blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
You know what
takes
it is?
a
I think
lot.
people hear stories, some of the old actors that they were discovered like in a soda fountain, for instance.
Yeah.
Like or in a drugstore or whatever. That is so flippin' rare to happen, even back then. They think,
And
well, I'm
like
going to go and just walk down the street and I'll be discovered. That's not how that works.
Just like what happened to what's her name with the big tits on the fucking Baywatch.
Pamela Anderson, right.
She got founded at a fucking football, baseball game or something like that. A talent, but that's 1 out of 1.5 million. Like,
how many actors are out there? Thousands, tens of thousands of actors are out there.
You know how many people in the entertainment industry that are working as a server right now in LA? All of them.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, not all, but like,
yeah, she is Canadian. You're right, Al Trucker. She's Canadian.
God damn Canadians.
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah,
she literally got her start on Home Improvement before she went to Baywatch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but she got found as a model for a clothing company by a gentleman who was at a game, and they, luckily for her, put her on camera for like a millisecond, and he ran around until he found her, and then he grabbed her and said, "Will you work for our agency?" And so that never happens. That's a
that's an anomaly.
That story is almost so like not, so unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, the whole Baywatch was written on that our Michael Knight actor still had the subscription on this adult magazine, but
yeah.
So, anyways, what really happened to this bald dude? And I'm not making fun of bald people.
He is bald.
He couldn't make it. Yeah, he couldn't make it in Hollywood, and then said it was Satan, or that God told him to leave. No, homie, you became broke and you had to go move back in with your family. That's really what happened, bro. I know how this works. I tried to live in LA multiple times. It doesn't work unless, well, man, I should have kept sleeping with that record producer, but
see,
I wasn't attracted to him. I wasn't attracted to him, so that was the problem.
You sabotaged yourself.
I should have. He worked for Atlantic Records, and man, if I would have just understand a little bit what was going on, man, I could have been fucking living the life. And never mind, we'll talk about it later. Mango, talk about it later. Anyways, let's keep going on. I don't think I've told that story very many times about the record producer.
I'm going to go with you. And I told him, I said, Lord, I'm going with you, or I'm not going at all. I'll not be a hypocrite. And so I went and prayed with my boss that day and repented of my sins and really quit the drinking and the drugs and the alcohol and the sexual immorality and turned my life over to Jesus.
When you moved back in with your mom and dad, they were like, you can't drink and do drugs.
Shortly after that, I had an open vision of heaven.
Not in my house, son.
Yeah, and so that you stopped doing drugs and alcohol because you moved back in with your parents, loser.
My first convert was a high-level Satanist witch, and that was an experience.
Satanist witch?
In fact, I've been doing deliverance since 1987, bro.
Technically,
See, you know what it is? I think you're right, Slim. They tell these stories they think people want to hear.
Yeah, because
like I talked with my boss and I found God and I stopped all this stuff right then and there. That's usually not how that works.
What does this have to do with being a flat earther?
Yeah.
Well, the guy died. It was a long time ago, but I was friends with one pastor that actually gave me as guest speaker on the island a lot of times. And I actually lunched in the bar where I was working, so I became friends with him. But he did the pastor school, and during his school time, he already lost his religion. So he wasn't religious anymore, but he still finished school and he still practiced his job. He said, the funny part is I just telling stories out of my life, and people think I'm talking about the Bible.
Okay.
It's just a way that you tell the story.
Yeah, and then once again, like we've talked about when we went over the murder mystery stuff with people being interrogated, they will beat around the bush as much as possible before talking about the substance. So they'll be like, yeah, this one time at band camp, and then this thing happened, and they're like, no, the murder. What happened? Like, you don't need to tell me that you got molested and blah, blah, blah and stuff that, does that take in count? Maybe, but no, we're here to talk about a subject. So the more that people go around the subject, you're like, you're fucking going to be lying as soon as we talk about the actual subject. Because why do I need to know any of this information right now? None of us need to know any of this.
I think what this is, Slim, is a lot of your flat earthers push this, the globe earth, the deception. They're the ones, they're lying to you. Therefore, this is why the world is. We're telling the truth. And if people believed in the truth and knew what the world actually was, we'd have peace, harmony, and love everywhere.
Yeah.
This is what he's trying to set up,
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true, because there's human beings on this planet that don't give a crap whatever the shape of the earth is.
Yeah.
No,
he's definitely like fishing, right?
Yes.
He's trying to throw out some bait to get us to give a care about his punk ass for no reason. And then as soon as we kind of have feelings for him as a human, then when he says things, then we're going to humanize those things as well. And so it's baiting us for sure. I know that's exactly what happens with interrogations. And they're like, oh man, I broke my leg when I was 12. And you're like,
it's sympathy.
Cool, bro.
Yeah.
Great story. What does that have to do with there's your mom's dead?
Or the price of milk at the store. What does it have to do with anything other than you try to manipulate me emotionally?
The price of tea in China. What does that have to do with my punk ass? I don't know. Okay.
But, well, in my job, it depends on what the shape of the earth is for survival. But
yes, it does.
For a lot of jobs, I can imagine that somebody's working in the bar and can't give a fuck of what the shape is. But,
right.
Well, like even with me, with the way that flat earthers claim that electrostatic fields or negative and positive things can make things float, which we don't have any proof of. If that was a thing, if I had a wrong pH balance diet, or I ate something un-pH balanced and I tried to swallow my sword, it may fly out of my throat and go across the room because the electromagnetic, you know what I'm saying? Like, no gravity, and there's these.
Yeah, but without gravity, it can still be a globe. That's the
thing.
No, of course, no. But there's like me swallowing a sword around different metals isn't going to cause it to rip through my throat and kill me or other people, right? Like they're claiming with a flat earth. They're like, oh, the electrostatic and there's like the blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, if I pretend to do your mathematics, then I actually do hurt myself. or if I do the mathematics for the globe with gravity involved, then that it happens exactly the way it says.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, let's keep
Yeah, because if
going.
it was electrostatics or electromagnetism, not everything is magnetic on this planet. Electrostatics, you'd have to have so much power to do that for an entire planet of people.
Let alone
like,
that they don't understand
everything
the
would be
magnetics of this Earth.
Everything would be so much different if there was more magnetic field interference than like what they say,
Of
or
course.
that things fall because of blah and like not because of there is a force pulling towards a direction. Anyways, let's keep blowing on with. Excuse me, pardon me.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
I phrased this wrong. The flat earthers do not understand the magnetic fields that of the Earth itself, because it's not like a bar magic or the poles are not. The North Pole is actually geographic, and the magnetic pole is moving constantly.
Yes.
And same as the South Pole is constantly moving.
Those are really good points. And the declination they don't understand either. They don't understand how, because like the fields actually like make it not point north in all sorts of different places. And in Canada, like you can go from one end to the other.
And it shifts.
It does all sorts of weird things where you have to know how to calibrate it if you're actually using that instead of like a GPS or something.
Precision equipment. Yeah, and the other thing is really quick. These idiots don't know how to use these precision equipment, and they try to use it, and they're like, "Look how this is wrong." And it's like, yeah, because you didn't fucking calibrate it right, you dumb cunt. That's why it didn't work, you idiot.
They can't even read the instructions on how to use a toaster. Never mind, like calibrating a compass.
And Flatside, in one of his comments on his own channel, I call it comics, sorry, but he actually admitted that somebody was talking about the difference between the magnetic north and the true North Pole, and he said, "Yeah, but I'm a flat earther, so it doesn't count." So
I was trying to follow. I was trying to follow. I saw that. I admitted that. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually admitted that. No. I'm talking about flat Earth reality, not about reality.
So once again, flat earthers, we need a model. We need other data that shows us a bunch of things that could not really be possible on another shape of what we live on. But if you can come up with the explanation to those things, and please fucking do, but you idiots have not. So anyways, I think I'm getting into where they actually start debating, because we don't need to hear like this
No.
bald dude's life fucking story so he can,
if I recall,
shove some
he
more
talks
smoke
for
up our
quite
arse.
a while too.
Yeah, so it seems like Greg Locke is about ready to say something, and so I think we're almost there. So yeah, and there's reversals, and there's so many other things that go along with a handful of things. Your basic compass, if you're out in the wilderness, as long as you put it in the right place, is gonna work well enough for you to be able to get around. For other precision equipment, then you need to make sure you know how to calibrate. You need to know how to actually use the equipment, and not just like buy a $10,000 piece of equipment and go, well, I'm going to try to turn it on and figure it out when it happens. And oh, look, it doesn't work right. Yeah, because you don't never mind.
If you use the correct calibrated maps, it actually tells you what the magnetic compass has to point to instead of.
Yeah, and there's a reason why you have to like take classes for like a lot of these things, or you have to get like a CDL license or handful of other things, is because you need to know how to use this equipment properly so it works right. That you can't just like try to do anything and it just fucking works, you weirdos.
Nope.
Yep.
You met oh, that's right. You met journalism. I forgot about that, Lucifer. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Like met him in person.
Yeah.
I I checked in on something yesterday that we got to talk about on another. I know because I don't want to change. It's the same subject, but I don't want to change the people
Direction.
we're talking about. But I
Yeah,
saw
sure.
the
Nice,
Bevs
Lucifer.
chat the other day.
And you can still see?
Oh yeah, but you still have your face. It didn't burn off.
Wow.
I don't know why they didn't roast me because I told them they were talking about how like a radius is a straight line, and how do you know a radius is something to do with a circle? And I just said a radius. I know they didn't want to hear this. A radius is definitely a straight line, and it always is a straight line, whether it's for a sphere or a circle. And I said, if there is no other thing that has a radius, and you just gotta trust geometry. And then some guy was saying, some guy in the chat or girl or whatever was saying that they thought that this is all a trick of organized education trying to fuck people up.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh wow. And I was just like, well, let me tell you something. A radius is a straight line, and that straight line is a circle. And they said, well, what if the radius changed while you were drawing the circle? And I said, then you'd be drawing a spiral, not a circle.
Right.
And then they made some joke about spiraling out of control, and I was like, well, apparently that's what's going on here, and I got the fuck out of there.
People do not understand the idea of developing technology. You can't fake things to make technology. You have to actually understand it to the like gazillionth of a millimeter or the smallest dimension of a lot of these, like precision engineering for like engines, especially like on boats that Tiny drives.
Yeah.
They have to be the best at their combustion that they can be, and or using the energy through batteries and or whatever system, if they have solar or whatever, like whatever, they have to be the best at the best. Why would you go into a field? Why would you be taught something fake, then go into a field to be taught it properly? That doesn't make any fucking sense, you twat whistles.
Doesn't. No.
Damn it.
And that's what they're basically saying. They're saying that when we're taught how to do what we do, that we're taught some fake thing. And that there's this huge cabal trying to change it all. And that we're all just being taught the wrong thing, which is just absolute bullshit.
Have we heard from this person before? Is this one of our trolls, or are you
Earth is
taking
concave.
the piss?
Earth curves upwards into a sphere. All works the same as convex. Distances, maps, etc. You can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference.
Oh yes,
do we know who this person is? Do we know who this person is? I feel like we know who this person is.
Chat? Is that what's actually going on?
I hope we have a convex.
I don't know. Is it concave earther or a convex earther? I don't know.
I want you to be a convex earther so bad.
In other words, we live in a Dyson sphere. Is that what you're saying? I don't think so, hon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We don't live in a Dyson sphere.
Brendan Fraser movie
Right.
I think they're one of the people that pretends to be a troll. We haven't seen you around for a second, so good to see you again.
Yes, hello, Darren.
Go ahead, Tiny. And then I need to go get a beer. So what? Tiny, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to tell a fun fact. My next trip is what I'm here for now in Portugal. I'm gonna deliver a research vessel. So from now on, every time a flat earther will say, "Do your own research," well, I did research. I delivered it to Canada.
It's shaped like a spoon.
Nice.
Hey, I gotta ask you. Not here, but I gotta ask you. I gotta double check which one of the East Coast towns you're going to, because there's more than one with that name.
It's I can say it's close to dildo.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about
dildo
earlier.
Dildo? All right. I know the one then. I know which one you're going to.
Concave at least works. Flat Earth don't. Exactly.
That's true. I do agree with that.
Sure.
I
Because
can
there's
agree
a
with
curve.
that.
There's a curve somewhere
There is a
in the way,
curve.
shape, or form there.
But we
Okay,
don't see the
so-
horizon curve up, so only
Yeah.
rarely.
So anyways, I'm gonna just begin this. I'm gonna go grab another burr, and then we will keep blowing on with this. And exactly, there's no model,
I
and
agree
it
there,
makes no
Darren.
sense. Yes, I thought you were one of our like pretend trolls, or you come in and you say fun stuff with us. So, and you lived by a town named Okay. Was that
I'm sure there is.
Where was that?
I'm sure there is.
In
There's a
America?
town called Dildo in Newfoundland. This is not.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyways, let's blow on with this, and hopefully I remember to turn off my
Well, I just think
camera
it's
before I stand up.
The Newfies
Yes,
that
turn
named
off your
it,
camera,
you knew it was
Slim.
real. There's a whole song. I gotta find that one.
About Newfoundland dildos?
Isn't there
About the
there's
town
a
of Dildo.
fucking UK? Isn't there a fucking in England?
There might be.
I know you're not a troll now.
Dildo
I know-
Newfoundland.
I believe you've been here before, Darren. I think you've hung out with us before.
Does Darren know why Bev doesn't understand what a circle is?
Oh, Jeebus Chris. Okay, anyways, I need to go. So let's blow on with this.
Yes. Go get yourself something. Yes.
And I'm Mama for some reason. Hold on.
You could be me. It's okay.
Okay. There we go. All right. Just, here we blow. Hold on.
We know you're trans. Just saying, you could be me for 5 minutes.
Share it to our church, and I turned off everything. I turned off our public broadcast and said, "I'm just going to share it to our church and see how they respond." And it's been amazing. And then that was 8 years ago, and man, it's been quite the ride since then. I mean,
Oh my God! So he did come to Flat Earth 8 years ago.
Here we are.
Oh man, this guy's been dumbing a rock
A lot
for
of
8
our
years.
folks, and even a lot of people watching,
Oh,
maybe
Jesus.
aren't as into this and understand the reality of it. And that's one of the reasons I think it's good that two pastors are discussing it.
So he did start pandering to the
creationist
Flat Earth
standpoint.
community 8 years
But
ago.
What I find, and some of this no doubt is perception, because this is so new to me, and you have to understand, I'm going to be a little bit guarded in the way that I discuss things tonight, because I can be very bombastic, right? And I don't want to seem abrasive. I don't want to come off as a jerk for Jesus. But here's one of the things that bothers me from the beginning. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions, because you're really the one that we brought here to explain maybe what we don't understand, what we're trying to figure out, right? And so there's no.
Oh man, did Greg Locker
So-
just say that? This guy.
So Odell did claim that 8 years ago he shifted to basically to Flat Earth.
The flat Earth, but Greg Locke is Greg Locke's hilarious thing. He doesn't want to be a jerk for Jesus. He's literally like scaring the crap out of children.
I know. Cult. Can you say cult?
Cult? I can say
Yeah.
cult. I mean,
Mhm.
And
like,
he
there's a
he
lot
was
of damn
calling
cults
for.
out there. This guy's thing is outlandish, and I saw a documentary that he did with his I don't know if it's a documentary like a news type piece, but it like the documentary type of him and his new wife and back and forth talking about like all the stuff with his old wife, and so it was just, these people are not right.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's keep blowing on because we have some
Even if
stuff
they
to get
do know
through.
the shape of the earth, they're not right.
Need for me to ask myself these questions. And so the first one is, I have a hard time with the people that see factual things. And I'm not talking about curves and all that. I'm not talking about looking out the window of an airplane and all of that, right? We can argue that the cows come. But I watched this show, this Behind the Curve, right? And there were 3 times in that
That's
documentary
great. He watched Behind
where
the Curve.
the evidence proved rotation and curvature. And in each occasion, the flat Earth individual said, it's not.
I
going
don't
the
know what
direction
it's
that we want it to
called.
go. And
I
then,
forgot.
of course, they ended the whole show with, well, that's interesting, right? And so my question is, why is it that when we
talking
do
about
come
Bob
up with an
Nodell right
argument,
there.
it seems like
Yeah, exactly. Similarly.
it doesn't matter what we say; you're just not going to believe it. Does that make sense? How can you just reject
Well,
the
that
evidence?
works both ways.
Yeah. Oh, understood. Yeah.
Because we show evidence, and then everybody, people go, "Well, I don't care." Here's the thing about whether it be the
Don't show
gyroscope,
the right kind of
electronic
evidence.
gyroscope, and I remember that. Now you got to look at things like just because somebody does an experiment, that experiment has to be repeated again and again and again, and observed again and again before you realize it. But see, Michelson Morley, the 2 scientists in the days of Einstein, didn't.
Yeah. So every single day, airplanes and aircrafts use 3 of these gyroscopes, correct, to fly. So every single. Go ahead, Tiny.
But you also noticed that he actually said that apart from that's interesting, and
Yes.
well, we know that John actually got tricked in it, and John was in the audience at the moment in the
Oh,
front row.
was he in the audience with this? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he actually recorded Dave Weiss talking about MC Tune.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah, I remember
part
that. I remember him
Dave
doing
Weiss
that.
said that MC Tune was handsome. It was actually recorded by Jaron.
And just because you're an expert in one field does not mean you're an expert in every
Correct.
field. So that's another thing. These people, even if you have a high degree, doesn't not mean that you know everything about everything and everything about the places of the things on the Earth or in the galaxy or wherever.
Experiment, the famous one, where they proved that the Earth was not moving through the ether, and the ether was an accepted concept back then, and really more and more physicists are coming to accept the ether. Now, what the ether is,
No, they're
it's
not.
an unseen. You can see it sometimes if you zoom in on the moon, but it's actually a dense type.
It's called the atmosphere, you dumb cunt. Or
Well, ether is another name for air, basically.
Sure, no, I know.
You know, yeah.
But not with the way they're saying it.
Or aether.
They're thinking that it is the dome is what he's going to claim.
But the aether was this idea they had that they felt that light and photons, before they actually were able to find out that photons had their own characteristics and that light moved differently, even though it moves with a wavelength, and even though that there's amplitude and wavelength and frequency, and that those things change, that those things propagate similar to sound waves, say, and sound waves have to be in a medium. And so they thought that light, but when they did these tests and got a null result, they found that there was not an aether or ether or whatever. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
Was it the Michelson-Morrison test?
There was Michelson-Morley, and there was Michelson-Gale, I think.
Yeah.
There was a few different ones that were done.
They spun things around and stuff, and
they were trying to do interferometric. I might not be pronouncing that right, but they were trying to do things that were very similar to what we do with a laser gyro. But the laser gyro uses the same technology to get this interferometry to show what's going on. And these things, just because these things cost money and are precisely made and used in air, like air navigation, and I'm sure they could be used in other navigations, but I think aircraft navigation is one of the places where precision is so important for so many lives. Because an airplane is not just dangerous to the people on it, it's also dangerous if it's loose, go in the wrong place, right? So
what you mean crashing an airplane into thousands of people is not a good idea?
I don't want to revisit previous events, but yeah, it's not a good idea. But
and the ring laser gyro works with light. It's enclosed.
The ring laser uses light, but the mechanical gyro uses the same concept, because you get this procession. The thing is, if you move this thing around, that movement will be detected by this precision if it's properly calibrated. And first of all, I'm okay with the fact that these guys did the test and that just turning it on, they picked up the drift, and the 15-degree-per-hour drift I know flat earthers don't want to admit it, but that's what you'd expect approximately. But they do not understand or do not want to admit that it was being used by an untrained person, because rest in peace, Bob, but Bob misrepresented themselves in their qualifications.
Of course he did. Yeah, of course, yeah.
So whether or not they actually knew what they were doing with this thing is irrelevant. But if they literally just turned it on and just let it do what it was doing and measured it, and it got a 15-degree-per-hour drift, and then thought they had something that wasn't working right, they probably didn't. It probably did exactly what it was supposed to, and probably it was calibrated correctly and not banged around and screwed up.
Well, and the second one they did, it was in that little tube and did the same fucking thing. So whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's old.
Yeah.
This
And he
is
still
old.
claimed it was the stars moving or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
This
and
is way
Darren,
old.
I don't know what Darren's problem is, but Darren seems to not be aware that we have ways of measuring the movement of stars.
I think they're just being silly. I think they're just
Are
being
they?
silly.
I mean, I just want to know. I want to know if they're serious, or if they're just repeating all this Flurf talking points, because I do that sometimes too.
I think they're just fucking. I think they're just being silly. Anyways,
Okay,
y'all should make me do a shot.
Interacting.
I have shots.
Yes.
Anyways, let's
There's also
see.
a triangle above us.
Somebody's got some like weird banging noise going on in the background. I don't know who. I can't tell. But anyways, you seen Who's What? You pervert. Never mind. So anyways, okay. So anyways, let's go ahead and blow on with this stuffs.
Superfluid type gas. It gets more dense as you go up, and I've talked about it a lot. But here's what they discovered: when Michaels and Morley did their experiment, they did find 1/6 movement. Okay.
No, they
because
didn't.
the ether is moving. The ether is what
No,
the sun
Sammy.
and the moon are moving in a.
But still, that's like what it's called. It's called a fucking whatever. Like not. You're gonna assume there's gonna be some part that isn't correct 100%, right? I don't remember what that's called. So some of your experiment, you can expect that like a little of it's not gonna work every single time 100%. Right. But then if you can get it to work most of the time, then you'll put it into a peer reviewed study or place where people can peer review it. Then everybody tries to dismantle it. So just because things don't work, just because they found a one blah, blah, blah in the thing, that's the negligible, the percentage that you would assume that there was going to be a mistake or whatever that's called. I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm fucking drunk a little bit because I had to get drunk to fucking do flat earth stuff, obviously. So anyways, let's keep blowing on with this douche nozzle. Because I think we're about at the debate pretty much. Although I want to get to where Greg Locke talks about going to Antarctica and stuff.
The Bible says in Psalm 19 that the sun and the moon's moving in a circuit over us, and that they're at a certain altitude, and that literally that ether current is what's pushing it around. I found government documents that actually admit this, that they believe in the ether current and they believe in the ether. So the ether is moving.
No, they
certain
don't.
Instruments, like when Michaels and Morley did their test to see if the Earth was moving, and the gyroscope, sometimes they're going to pick up the movement of the ether, and not necessarily it doesn't mean that the Earth is spinning. Now, like one of the big arguments of the global side, the spinning ball side, is the Foucault pendulum. But what we have discovered is that in Smithsonian, I actually have the documents. The Smithsonian admits that they use an electromagnet to move it. And my friend Matt Long is here, who used to, where are you, Matt? There he is back there. Matt Long used to work for a construction company.
Have a hard time with is, look,
Hey,
I
here
get
we
the
go,
government
here we
lies. One of the hard things about the flat earth idea, what I would call a flat earth theory, is there's a lot of conspiracy theories that are true that I believe in, right? There's no doubt about that. And so it's almost like an us and them. You guys are the few enlightened people of reality. Whereas I would say, well, of course I know the election was stolen. Of course I know that vaccines are nonsense. Of course
he says
my
this.
church. We even put up a sign that said we're a mask-free campus. We don't even allow you to wear a mask here. And so it's not like we're into all of the stuff, right? And so it seems like with this, us versus them football mentality that we're tackling each other over some of the same issues because, yeah, there's a lot of things that you and I agree on. But then it's like you got to keep going deeper in the conspiracies and keep going deeper. And now you can agree with me on all these things. But if you don't agree about the flat earth theory, the flat earth model and concept, well, then you don't really understand the Bible. I'm not saying you can't be saved. I don't believe you believe that either. You don't really understand the word. You're not really enlightened like the rest of us. But then we know, government NASA lies. But here's the problem that I have. And probably in your presentation, you'll talk about some of those documents. I've read every one of those documents that you released.
No, not yet.
I see them.
Released some of them.
Well, the ones that you have released publicly. I read all of them, said I want to be very thorough. But here's the
and he doesn't bring up
bad,
anything new.
NASA bad. NASA bad. But these NASA documents that I just released tell you that NASA's telling the truth. So I don't understand the discrepancy. And I'm just being honest about that.
Well, it's simple.
Exactly.
When these documents were top secret, meaning if you divulged the information that was in them before they were released through the Freedom of Information Act, you went to prison by accused of treason. Okay, so the government.
But do you know how those things are done?
The MK Ultra program was denied by our government for decades and decades and decades. They put Operation Paperclip after World War II. They brought all the Nazi scientists over here, gave them immunity, and they basically started the mind control program through it's called MK Ultra. It's called Operation Artichoke, Mockingbird.
Those are not oh, Jesus Christ, dude. You just bridged.
This is what happens.
Oh my God damn.
They go from one thing and they'll deflect to something else.
He just tried to say that bringing over Nazi scientists to help us make nuclear weapons was part of MK Ultra, which technically started in the late 1960s, even though I'm pretty sure it's like the 1970s or something like that, when they started dosing people with hallucinogenic drugs, trying to see if that they could take over people's mind and make them sleeper cells or whatever. We talked about that in the cult thingy on Tuesday, right? Yeah. You just blend, but that's what they do. These conspiracy theorists don't understand lengths of time, measurement. You know what? I feel like we always say, I feel bad for their significant others because they're like, I'm 6 inches long and they've got like a 1.5 inch penis. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand measurements.
It's right here where I was watching this. What all the stuff he was spouting.
Yeah.
It was just like he was parroting one flat earth thing after another. He just kept going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what stuff.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing.
Yeah, no, and just it's like word salad or just running sentences together with different conspiracies to make them seem like they fit, because a lot of these people who are into these don't actually look up the background of what is actually going on in the time frame or time span of what's actually happening. Okay, here we blow.
Right, so all of this was done. The United States government, the Canadian government was involved. All right, all of this was kept top secret until it got leaked out in the 70s and through the church committee, and it got leaked out. And then
so Jesus Christ. So from the 1930s to the 1970s, see that big jump? That's a huge jump.
That is a huge jump.
Why weren't we in the late 1930s, the early 1940s, doing all these experiments, and we brought all these German people over here? No, again, we brought them over here and they were scientists. Most of them were not actual Nazis. Yes, there's some weird things with like the FBI and CIA that they had a couple of people, but the scientists that we brought over to help us build weapons, they're technically not Nazis. They just did what to the best of my knowledge, as I know, they weren't down with the shit. If they were, then they should have been convicted and they should have gone to jail. But to the best of my knowledge, some of the stuff that I've looked up, they were actually real scientists. That why would you not? Never mind. Right?
Found the documents buried in the CIA headquarters, and they had destroyed. Matter of fact, the CIA director Alan Dulles had destroyed about 200,000 documents trying to cover it up, but they found some hidden in another office. So all the truth came out. So what I'm saying is the truth came out in the 70s, and finally, actually, President Bill Clinton actually apologized because experiments were done on human beings, mind control drugs. And
it was more like the 60s.
And sometimes against people's will without knowledge.
Whatever.
Experiments that the CIA was doing. Now, you could look back and go back then and say, oh, that's a conspiracy, and the government, the government covered it up. But when those documents come out, that was kept secret. And we know, okay, they were discussing this between them, and they have to do that. And it's
so they've divulged all this information that people didn't know about in the beginning. Now they've divulged it, so that proves that there's nobody conspiratorializing about what. And then, well, why have they not come out and said that the Earth's flat? Then, you weirdo, like they come out and said some shit, but not some other shit. And once again, every other government wants to fucking take us down. China, Russia, Korea. I think
Mhm.
it's North is the bad one. Is the bad one North?
North Korea, yeah.
Why would they not want to disprove us or take us over or become the superpower by like showing the way that the whole world works? Or if there's like lands past the Antarctic ice wall ring, why wouldn't a very, very poor government that knew about it, because supposedly all of the major governments know about it, they just don't tell their people, why wouldn't they like go and get resources from there and bring it over without telling anybody and just like
when they say lands beyond the South Pole, they listen to what Admiral Byrd said, right? That there's lands beyond the South Pole. There are. If you look where the South Pole is on Antarctica, there's a United States-sized landmass still there.
Yeah, and if you keep going around, it becomes lands past the lands.
Yeah,
right?
Once you're South Pole, you're going north again. You can't go further south than the South Pole, right? But they take it. They take it with. What is it?
Will you mute whenever you're not talking, because we keep hearing like banging, and I think it's from you. I'm not
typing
sure.
his mic, I think. Yeah, is what it
Okay,
is.
yeah, your mic's just like not set 100%. Not.
No.
Oh, sorry. I will. I will mute.
Just mute when you're not talking. Thank you.
But
Go
the
ahead,
flat
Mama.
earthers see the AE map with the ring around it that is distorted that way on purpose, right? Because when it comes to bring it together into a sphere, it all connects back to the the right shape again.
Yeah.
They take it as, oh, there's lands around that ice ring.
Yeah,
and then they bring up
once
whatever these maps they find from like fiction books or whatever, fantasy books. And they start bringing those maps into it,
Or they're bringing in maps from the 1500s or 1600s, and they're obviously going to be wrong, because charting maps is very, very difficult to be precise. And a lot of times governments would make them because some person they gave what a boat or 5 to, gave them some money and said, go that way or something, right? And then they'd come back, and then they would tell them what they saw, and then they'd make a map out of that. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to be precise, dude.
And think about it. If there were lands beyond the ice wall, they'd be explored by now. And those maps too, what I find funny, all these things, they actually have names for them. It's like if we don't know about these lands beyond the ice wall, then why are there names on this map?
And they're all like Roman gods or old like goddess.
Like what I think one is like Tartaria or something, or Mars.
And there's Tartaria.
All
and
these different.
Dude, there's so many. We've gone over a little bit of that
I just have to
multiple
laugh at
times
them.
on here. No, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane, especially if you were a ruler of a country and all of your people were starving to death, and you knew about these extra lands that you could potentially go and take resources from, sneak them over or under, and bring them to your country, and then make it so that why are we not doing that? Why are people killing their people? Like, why? What the fuck? None of it makes any sense. But the problem with most of these people is they believe that they have a secret knowledge that nobody else knows, or that very few people know about. But unfortunately for these idiots, is most of us have already looked into this and delved into it. And if you really want to prove the flat earth, go fucking take a 15 cameras, put it on your boat, go drive to Antarctica and see how close or far you can get or whatever. Please do it with like enough covering to be below like 30 or whatever. See what happens when you do certain things. And then just listen to what Greg Locke says in a minute. I want to get to this, and I'm almost willing to go to Telltales so that we can just find the best points. But if we don't Yeah, if we don't find him talking about this in a second, then we will use the clips from somebody else.
The same way with NASA, and it's the same way with our other government agencies.
Why? But why?
What they actually do, and then the Freedom of Information Act. I'm gonna tell you this: I believe the Freedom of Information Act is Jesus made them do it, because Jesus said everything done in secret and spoken in secret is going to be shouted from the rooftops. And I actually believe it's a rule that God has made.
So how are they hiding stuff with that in place?
Them start revealing things to us, and so it's easy to determine. I look at a document that's top secret. It was kept top secret from us for years and years and years and decades, and finally now it's released. Oh, I can go. I see why they were hiding it.
Gotcha. All right. I know you're going to talk a little bit about those.
That didn't
documents,
make any
so let me just
sense.
kind of move on to another question, because I'm really anxious.
Okay, I'm gonna do one thing first, because we are trying to break this up, because I don't know if Greg Locke is gonna try to copyright claim us. We actually had to get this as a mirror from somebody else, because Greg Locke actually deleted this from his YouTube channel. So I'm just gonna do this. So pretty much what we just heard from that gentleman is...
Oh. And off you go! There we go. And it's easy to clean off.
And that was some word salad that motherfucker said. So here we go. I love playing that thing. It's so great. Anyways. Just keep telling us about how you like to see naked things with your eye there, Darren. Bow wow. Okay, anyways, let's blow on.
Just to get you hooked up and let you start doing your actual presentation, and make sure the guys have the cord, the computer, and all of that ready. Okay, the age-old question is, why don't you guys still have an actual map? Why do you have a model but not a scaled map?
Nobody does. You know that all of our maps are wrong. Every single one of them.
Well, we have a scale, and you can tell me that this is 200 miles apart from certain towns, and I can look at the scale on a regular map, and I can drive it. It's exactly 200 miles
the
apart.
The map works really well. And again, you have to know how to use maps. Maps have different scales and different things that you look at. But bottom line is that all maps are wrong. The projection map, what is the Mercator map?
Except for, and Al's gonna say the same motherfucking thing as me, as Tiny is gonna say, and I'm sure Mom is gonna say when I go and figure out how far I gotta go drive, go across water, am on a plane, there's distances and how long those distances go and how fast or slow you go gets you to these places in a certain amount of time over however many miles. You can't fake that bullshit. Like, I hate when they say this. When I go on tour, I can't pretend that going 2,000 miles is half of it. Like, that doesn't work. When I go fly to different places, you know, like, and you're using fuel and other things in the engine and or other places, that you can tell that you went other certain distances, right? Oh, the oil system's going to be at this level after 2,000 miles, or, you know what I'm saying? Like there's real ways to tell that things actually happen besides your GPS, besides you actually physically driving, knowing you're going 60 or 40 or going, you know, there's so many things that tell you this, that if your dumbass doesn't understand the concept of how, like, what is UAP? I don't know what that is.
I don't know, but it's the same thing as UFO, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
I thought it was.
Just different way of saying UFO.
Oh, I thought it was
God.
UVLMNOP or something like that.
I hate that crap. I don't give a shit about semantics. It's the same goddamn thing I'm talking about. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
hell.
Yeah. Unidentified flying product. Exactly.
It just irritates
Anyways,
me.
Yeah. Anyways.
He knows what I mean. He's just being contrarian right now.
Like I said, there are undercover troll. Let's put it that way.
They're an undercover troll for the.
They're the
for
undercover
CIA.
troll.
And unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Same fucking thing as UFO. Duh.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, it just irritates me.
No, I'm on the same page with you for
so
sure.
Tired of word semantics.
What's a phenomenon?
God.
It's the phenomena. Anyways,
phenomena.
blowing on. Anyways, let's go on with this.
And UFO does not mean little alien green men either.
No, it means something in the sky that's an anomaly that nobody can
You see
explain.
something flying, you don't know what it is. It's unidentified flying object. There
It
you
could
go.
be anything. Like it could be. It could be my detachable penis being flying.
Yes, it is, Darren. Look it up.
It can be a
Jesus
gas cloud from a chemical reaction.
A UFO could be. Yeah,
I
exactly.
put that up there as a gas cloud. I put that.
Remember, there are local
So
trolls.
dumb.
Just everybody, just
I
remember
know
that.
they're being a
and
contrarian right now. Just let him have his piece, I guess. Swear to God.
They're giving us views.
So what I'm saying is,
That's right.
all map. Nobody
That's
has
right. They're here. They're watching, and they have a
accurate, 2D
triangle.
perfect map. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Not your side, not my side. We're still working on it.
But we can travel based off our model and based off our map and get exactly where we want to get. But you can't do that on the model of the flat Earth.
No, it's not true.
And even Africa is like 3,000 miles wider than it's supposed to be because it's looking down on a spherical Earth and it's just been flattened out.
It's absolutely not true.
That is 100% true.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. In fact,
Yeah, except for everybody that has to fucking travel like for most of their fucking business or doing whatever. Like, oh, we just set for those fucking things to match up.
Navigation.
Is he trying to defend the Gleason's map?
Well, he's a flat earther, so yes, he's going to say that everything is twice as small than it is, especially Australia. Supposedly Australia is this tiny little thing.
The Gleason map is a time tool. Nothing more.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just like a little thing, and you can see which place to which like it's just another projection, just like a Mercator or a conformal conical or like any of these projections are just projections.
The Gleason map is literally a tool for people that cannot do math, that have to calculate the geographical time zone.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's like a slide rule just for time zones.
Yeah, but not
Okay,
for
so, yeah.
the time
Yeah.
zones as we know it, because that's the political
older-
time zones.
Yeah.
But the geographical time zones, there's a difference between them.
Okay.
Yes, and yes, Darren. Anything in the sky that's unexplainable is considered a UFO, an unidentified flying object. So even if it's a light in the
That's a
sky that is
whole
natural, that we can't understand, it is an unidentified flying object.
UAP is just a new way to say it. That's it.
I was going to suggest that
They don't necessarily have to be flying. It's just
it might be floating, but I think it
Might
might
be
be
floating, might just be there.
a
Who knows?
UWP, unwarranted pedantry.
If you stick a
that's fine. And say
firecracker up,
UAP. I'll say UFO.
if you stick a bottle rocket up your arse and you shoot it in the air and your neighbor sees it and doesn't see it come out of your arse, that's a UFO technically, because they don't. How do you know exactly what it is? It is an unidentified
I mean,
flying
I
object.
will grant to Darren that like it could just be something that's stationary in the sky.
Yeah.
And you have
And I get UAP makes sense for that.
So it's not flying. It's not flying.
And I just said it doesn't necessarily have to be flying, Darren.
Yes.
It's just a way we say stuff. That's it.
If there's not lights, if there's not lights on it, or it's not being lit up, then how do you see it?
Some of us are older than the word phenomenon.
Flares are flying objects, so you can't say lights aren't
we're
flying.
We're not getting stuck. We're not getting stuck. Yeah, no, we're the dumbasses completely. Anyway,
And I have this in my book. Navigation is called the Great Circle Navigation, not
Yes.
the Great Sphere Navigation. All right, so everything.
Yeah, but every pilot would tell you that's an
No.
actual commercial airline pilot.
Where's my Army pilot? Where's my Army pilot?
Oh, this
Stand up,
part.
Army
Oh
pilot.
my
Where is it?
God.
How is that going to help?
Okay, see,
There he is. So what I'm saying
How
is
is
not
that
every
gonna
pilot will
help?
tell you that. I have a friend, good dear friend.
Commercial airline pilots will
Commercial
tell you
pilot,
that.
a commercial pilot.
he has one friend out of how many pilots exactly?
Tell you I have multiple. In fact,
Because I don't want to get on a plane of a guy that doesn't know about the rotation of the Earth because I'll end up in the wrong place. That's the entire idea.
Exactly.
This is what. Okay.
Oh my
this
God,
is a
Darren,
perfect
give it a
example
rest,
I'm talking
please.
about.
You know what I was
All right,
saying.
if you believe the Earth is spinning, and if you believe in the Coriolis
Darren,
effect,
if you
that you have
don't
to.
know
I
what
definitely
it
believe in the Coriolis.
is, you
Let's
haven't
get not even in the-
identified it. It also is.
So really quick, give me 5 more milliseconds, even though there are military flares that have parachutes over them that they have used and over the desert in the Americas. I don't remember if it was Nevada, Arizona. I think it was Arizona.
Yeah, to light up areas. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Right?
they were testing and they were doing it in a flight pattern. So their jets, their flight people, I don't know what they were. I don't know if it was regular planes or what it was. They were doing a test over the desert. They had flares that had umbrellas over them, or they were a slow burn, or something happened to where they were in the air for a long time.
Right, right. So they slowly come down.
100 people took videos, photos of those of that happening over the desert, and they said it was a huge UFO. They were motherfucking flares that were slowly falling down because there was a parachute over them, and they went for 2 hours. So these things are made for when they need to light up an area over enemy territory in a war. And how do you test these things? Over American soil. You don't do it in not knowing how these work. You have to do it somewhere.
God.
And so
Yeah.
they were in the middle of nowhere, fucking Arizona. And of course, people saw it because they had to do it like over 100 feet in the air. So once again, Darren, yes.
No, he's not.
flares
Oh my God, Darren. The flares are actually
Jesus
lighted
Christ.
objects. Yes, they are. That's what he's saying.
And again, there could
When
be
he's not assuming every light source is an object.
There could be a gazillion reasons
Or light you
why
see,
we
I'm sorry.
see lights in the sky that do weird things.
Uh-huh.
Meteor showers. There's so many things.
Lightning.
Like that. And yeah, balls of light. You know.
Oh yeah, ball lightning. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that. Anyways, let's keep blowing on because
I was making the point that if you shoot a flare, that flare is a flying object at that point.
Exactly. No, and that's what I was saying
That's the point I made.
There,
You seem to have missed that
and,
point.
and there was a military fucking operation that happened with flares and
Yeah.
fucking little umbrellas that actually everybody claimed to be UFOs or aliens. And no, it was actually flares being dropped by the government in an
Oh my
experiment
God,
they were
Jesus
doing.
Christ. Okay,
Oh
enough
my
with you,
Jesus.
Darren.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
ignoring
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Enough.
yeah.
What I'm going to tell you right now is that if that was happening, you could not land a plane
fighting with a
on
3-year-old.
north-south runway because if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
No, that's
and
not how the
airplane's
world
flying at
works because of the
500 miles an hour,
atmosphere.
And you have to count in velocity and you have to figure all that in. They could not land on a north-south runway. It's impossible.
Oh, it's bullshit. Yes, you
If
can.
that was
yes, you
if that
can.
was a well, anyways, if that was a thing, then all of our planes would just go in one direction. You would just
He
always have
forgets
to
one thing
take
about
a-
airplanes. They have engines.
Yeah, and the atmosphere goes
They
around.
can move wherever they
with
want
everything.
with the
Yeah, and-
engines.
just like a car on the fucking street.
Exactly.
Periscopes in planes tell the pilot that they're flying flat and level, and many pilots have come out. An F-16 pilot's come out and a whistleblower and said it's flat. He knows it.
I knew
Here's
that
another thing.
Darren
You
was
see
one of our
F-16, I've been
trolls.
down in Pensacola when you see the Blue Angels do their thing. They will fly 50 feet off of the water, breaking the sound barrier. Okay. Now that means that they are moving over 700 miles an hour, right? They break the sound barrier. Sometimes they're flying at Mach 2 in a straight line. Now, if they're flying that fast and the Earth's curving, and most people don't on your side do not. know
When did
how
I
much the
say
Earth curves. They know
that?
the formula, but it's 8 inches per mile square. Now, if you do
No,
that
that's
that
wrong.
fast,
That's
you're
not
gonna
how
have to
it
be nosing
goes.
The plane down. In fact, if you're going 500 miles an hour, you're going to be nosing the plane down like 2,000 feet, which is
No.
And then
No.
and then on a flat and just to rebut that, to knock that back into the field after somebody barely pitched this to us. Well, if the Earth was flat, we would have to be turning left or right really fucking hardcore as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't see that either. So there's no proof of that either.
Yeah.
If we actually had to be going hardcore right or hardcore left constantly and never would go forward, then that would prove that. There's no dipping of the fucking nose anyways, because you stay in the atmosphere. Whatever level in the atmosphere you are,
You're
gonna
flying
stay at
on the
that
same
level.
pressure
Yeah, you're going to stay in that
horizontal
pressure
pressure
level.
plane, right?
Yeah,
That's how,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So your elevation, your elevation is always going to stay the same as long as you stay inside that layer without moving it up or down. You know, your stick up or down, or getting into higher or lower elevation. You'll stay in, and it's kind of like how a motorcycle works. Once you get it going forward in that direction with that momentum, it's going to want to keep going. So if you jump off, it actually will keep going forward in that direction with that, because that's how it works. And that's how you kind of save fuel flying airplanes, jets, and other aircrafty type things, is you just stay in that level of the atmosphere, and then it kind of floats you along with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then one thing, I would have to look this up, but I don't think the Blue Angels fly 50 feet going the sound of speed, because that might be a little bit too dangerous that low.
So sometimes they go over water at a very low altitude. I don't think it's 50 feet though. I think
it wouldn't
it's like
be 50
100.
feet.
No, I think it's like 100, or I think it's a little bit higher than that.
Not the speed of sound. That's what I'm saying. The speed of sound, that's over 770 something miles per hour.
Our side chat will let us know in a second, because I'm sure somebody in the side chat.
But it just seems to be, even for professional pilots to do this professionally, that's still, even at 50 feet, going the speed of sound is still a tad bit dangerous.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
because
For
the
them.
jet is going to want to try to like lift itself. I think so. Go ahead, Tiny. Well, give me 1 second, Tiny. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You know that like I get to put this on screen every time you say something stupid, and then like later on, after people watch this, like they get to see how dumb. Never mind. Go ahead, Tiny. I have to use the loo right quick, and so go ahead, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, the speed flying very, very low. That was a whole point in Top Gun Part 2.
Okay. I haven't seen that movie
That
yet.
it was impossible, actually, but they needed to find the best of the best to do it. It was actually also in the movie. Yeah. So, yeah.
But they wouldn't do it to the point where you get sonic booms that low.
No.
No, they usually...
That's what he's implying.
No,
that they're flying speed of sound.
There was actually fiction of a movie.
Mostly.
Yeah. That they actually went sonic boom that low was fiction in a movie.
Yeah. Because I've seen planes and heard planes sonic booms, but they were up high. They were not down low.
Yeah, they would be, because they're at a low altitude. The atmosphere is too thick.
Yeah.
And the speed of sound actually changes, and so what that speed is actually changes at different elevations. Different altitudes, I guess would be a better word for it. And yeah, a barometric, like I actually know from when I took my flying courses, you always reset the barometric altimeter, the one that like not like a glass cockpit where you got GPSs and stuff, but the one that's actually keyed to the barometric pressure. You put the barometric pressure at your takeoff point before you leave, and you calibrate it to that, and you know the exact, like to the foot or to the meter, what your actual altitude is. You plug it in and you take off, and so you keep it at that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and Majestic put up the speed of the speed of sound, probably in a standard Earth atmosphere, roughly, but that would change from place to place.
What gets me is people like that, Odell, think, well, if you keep flying straight over the water, you're going to eventually you have to, like you say, you have to nose down to follow the curve, or you're going to fly off into space.
No. And also like
folk are here, and then some non
like airplane
areas or pilot
keep generating lift without an atmosphere, and they lose.
Yeah.
There's no air to go over the aerofoil actually generate lift to keep taking off. Otherwise, that's how we send rockets into space. But we actually have to break through gravity.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, anyway.
Someone came to say hi, by the way. There she is.
Kitty cat.
Yeah, my kitty. She came up to say hi. There
what
we
a
go.
cute
Say-
little
can you
pussy
say
cat.
hi? No? Okay.
'Cause I'm not gonna say hi. I just want to be in the way, mommy.
I just want to bug you, mommy. There we go. All
Okay,
right.
so let's. I was going to go to his channel, but he is in the corner. If I don't find it right away, then we may go to his. I would rather not try to use his
Yeah, I
content just
forget
because.
how far along it is in this.
Yeah, I think we're almost here.
Since you bring up surveyors, U.S. Geological Survey
Yep.
is very clear that they don't even count curvature.
Uh-oh,
over 100
Slim,
square miles.
drink.
You know what? That's not foolish because either they don't know. They count it as
Nice.
flat over 100 square miles. They count the Earth as flat. Do you know how much curvature is at 100 miles?
Pink or blue? Mango.
Hold on, no. I'm asking you. Do you know how much curvature of the Earth is supposed to be there in 100 miles?
Well, if you use the parabolic approximation, which is the zetetic astronomy, which is nonsense because that's a curve as an arch. It would look like the world would look like the St. Louis Arch.
No, that is not it. Every scientist, I have a PhD in physics here with me that's highly sought after across the world by Google and NIH and everything else. She will tell you that if you're going to have a ball that's 24,901 miles in circumference and it's a perfect sphere, right? You have a sphere, and that's what NASA shows us is a perfect sphere. Though Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's a pear-shaped thing, right? But here we go. Here we go. If you have a sphere,
It's not a perfect sphere, but I get it. Go ahead.
Well, that's the pictures they give us. So somebody
Bad vodka.
But here's the thing: if it's curving, if it's a sphere, 24,901 miles, the math does not lie. It is 8 inches per mile squared. At the
Only
equator.
to about
And actually,
100.
up the ball going east.
I think that measurement can only be used up to a certain miles. That's it.
It's not a perfect sphere.
Anything over that would be it would be a parabola. Yeah.
Line, that is not even the argument. The argument is not there. We know there's discrepancies in the maps, and the early explorers who went into the Arctic region who used the instruments that they had based on a sphere, they would always find themselves out of reckoning. They said sometimes.
Okay, I really want to get Antarctica.
And Samuel Robotham is the one that brought up the 8 inches per mile squared.
Okay. We'll try to do it this way.
You're getting close, I think.
I know.
Door knock.
I know, but we can get to it like right here.
I'm not finding it.
Okay, hold on.
Big barrel on Sunday. I've been.
Wait. Okay, this isn't him debating him. God damn it. Maybe I don't have it saved here. I don't. Okay. We're almost there.
But if the sun comes in this way, have an answer as to why we've been flying through this ever-expanding universe at 500 million.
I do have an answer.
Hold on. And the stars never change in our view, ever.
That's not true.
That is true. That is true because I've been.
Okay, we're almost there.
It is true.
Go to the southern hemisphere and look at the same ones.
Yeah, I've looked at it. I know.
You've been in the southern hemisphere?
Yes, I have.
And you've looked up? Can you see Polaris from the southern hemisphere?
Sometimes you 40,000 feet. But when you're looking at it coming at you,
of the curvature of the Earth.
Okay, hear what I'm about to say. I don't care about that. I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you what. No. Don't interrupt me. Because if you interrupt me, we're just going to be done. Because I'm not.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, we were done when we got started. I can tell you that. But
you know,
my brother is a lieutenant colonel in the military. Okay?
My friend, Lieutenant Colonel.
Then I want him to stand up and I want him to publicly deny over the horizon missile systems in the United States military.
Let's stop right there. All right. I'm going to tell you about a laser.
He said there's somebody in the audience that could, and then he didn't. Okay, so I think it's around here probably when. And they can't figure out the. I swear he talks about. Telling him he's going to take him to Antarctica.
I thought that was when they were sitting in the chair.
Yeah, but that's the end. That's the end of it. And we went through like the whole thing.
Here, let me check something.
Okay. Let me.
Which one was that? Was that off of?
A Parable of the Vineyard, but it's 4 hours and 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's a long.
And I thought the other one was from Flatzoid and
Parable of the Vineyard.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if there's a transcript for it.
Okay.
Ah, here it is. Okay.
Yeah, see if you can find that.
Let me check out the transcript. I'll give you a timestamp if I find it.
Perfect. Let's see. While we're waiting for that.
Okay. Wish there was a searchable one. You know?
Yeah. Let's see what
You
can
you can actually copy the transcript in Word and then
Yeah.
It's
Search the word. Yeah.
compatriots that he runs with.
Yeah.
It's right here. I found it.
You found it? Okay. It's just like it's a 4-hour thing. I don't know. Transcript.
Yeah, no, I actually found it. So
Oh, sweet.
let's
Okay.
start.
Well, we'll ignore
Let's start
that.
from here. Everybody go to Owen Morgan's channel, Telltale. He broke this apart very wonderfully. So he's going to do a little bit of commentary. We're going to try to break this up as much as possible, even more than normal. But here we
See
blow.
Greg Locke's preparation paying off.
If they'll let us.
Oh, they will let us. I've already checked into it.
Here we blow up.
Absolutely let us.
This is about Antarctica.
They will absolutely. It's easy to sit there, cross your legs in a chair, and say, "Well, let's go." But Greg Locke isn't going to leave it at that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
let us.
So here we go.
And not only will they absolutely let us, I've got a cattle rancher in Texas that will pay for the entire trip. Let's do it.
Exactly.
We'll fly right to Antarctica.
Oh boy, Greg Locke has a.
So there's a gentleman who's going to pay for them to go to Antarctica and visit this. So let's go a little bit more into it.
Read it.
You know what? I did every line of it, and none of it has anything to do with militarization.
Dude cooked him. I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the militarization of it. And then let's get to.
Oh, I know. I read 3 times or something.
Here.
Pull out these ridiculous single exceptions to something that happened and claim that the exception is the rule. Listen to Greg Locke dismantle it now.
All right. So don't tell me that. You can't just.
So you
decide.
expect me to change my entire theology over one man that got turned away?
Go ahead. I'll tell you what.
That's
one proofs of. I know I skipped past it, but it was like a one theologist who's. Or one ship captain, or one pilot that said something. It's like, well, the 1 out of a gazillion and a half isn't a thing. And then at one point, he also says that he has that Texan to.
No. Don't CGI me, because I'm gonna put you in one of them. And they put 6 people in these capsules.
Yeah, here we go.
They put them in a balloon. They take them up to 110,000 feet. Now look.
That's crazy high. Mount Everest is 27,000.
Yeah, so Greg Locke has already done this.
35,000 feet. You're just not. So you win that one. But I love how you say, that picture of curvature out that airplane window is curved. Yeah, but when it's straight, the picture's okay, I guess, right? You can't have it both ways. It's hypocritical.
Yeah, this is common.
So he has this Texan rich dude who's going to pay for them to go up in this balloon thing.
Already done their tests and gone up there, right?
Oh boy.
It cost $75,000.
That is a whole heck of a heap of a lot of money.
And then watch.
$75,000 to put.
I wonder if Greg Locke could get a deal.
And then listen to what he says.
Got things worked out, hopefully. Not date-wise. Got it down to $50,000.
So $50,000. He can take him and this flat earther up on this, and then listen to what this douche nozzle says.
Things, i.e., the Bible doesn't use metaphors ever, is what he just said.
Oh yeah, he says the Bible doesn't use metaphors.
Literally what he said just now.
The Bible doesn't use those things. God means what he says. Now, there's symbolic language.
My comments disappeared.
Symbolic language. The Bible talks about a 7-head, 10-horned beast in the book of Revelation, and
I don't know. Okay, there it's back. I don't know why it disappeared. Yeah. What is this? Presidents of the United States.
The message above. The Antarctic Treaty, the original, is even on my e-reader.
Okay.
I read it about 6 times.
Okay.
Just nobody is prohibiting you from going there. Nobody.
Yeah, no, exactly. Other than like, people would like you to make sure that if you go there, that you can be airlifted out of there, or that you have enough supplies to be there, or where you're going and how you plan to be there, because a lot of people have died going up there. You idiots! It's not easy to go there.
They want to know where you are so that it can save you if something goes wrong.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it costs a lot of money to do that. And they're not going to just let you go in the middle of fucking nowhere to kill yourself without being able to, like, at least get your dead body out of there and pay for it first anymore. You know,
because
like,
if you do, they're getting the blame.
Exactly. So again, that's why these things are happening, not for any other reason other than a lot of people have died going there, and they're like, shit, you need to like know where to go, have the right equipment, make sure you have enough food supply, make sure that you have enough people with you so they can help you in case something goes wrong, and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that 7-head, 10-horn beast, we find out is a literal thing. It's going to be a world government. In fact, the United Nations has already become that, a 7-head, 10-horn beast.
Hey, doorknob.
5 on the permanent council. You have the P5+1, which is Germany, which 6, and then the EU head comes in when they have a serious problem, like the Iranian nuclear deal. So you
Iranian.
have 7 heads, and then under that you have 10 rotating positions. So literally, the UN that's going to end up being a world government has already 7 heads and 10 horns. So even
oh my God, shut up, dude.
Citation needed. I don't know those numbers.
It's all symbology, basically, for him.
Yeah, but he said it's all literal. He said it's all literal. Literal.
Sure,
there's no symbology, but then for some reason there is
shit.
symbology with inside of the. These people don't understand the concept of symbology comparatively to figuratively to reality and or allegories or other things like that.
Is talking about something that's real. Okay.
Okay, this is what I find super fascinating about this. He came to the same conclusion about this as Jehovah's Witnesses, although. So he believes the United Nations is the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns in the Book of Revelation. Jehovah's Witnesses have a slightly more complex belief about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the scripture
what the Bible
of
says in the book of Job or whatever about creation doesn't matter. No, it matters because it's profitable for doctrine. Right?
It's profitable for doctrine.
So what he's saying is,
Jesus Christ. I think most of us can kind of figure out what the
doctrine is just belief.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason if it's profitable for doctrine through the inspiration of God is you're just selling something to make people feel more spiritual.
Absolutely. I watched the whole 4-hour thing. He was charitable. He was good faith. He was kind.
Oh, this is when Douche Nozzle, the bald guy, was started saying that Greg Locke was being vindictive or being rude and stuff. So I think let's get to right here, I believe.
Well, they were both disrespectful to each other. I knew that much. You know what I'm saying?
Greg was respectable until the other dude began saying, I'm never going to come to your church. I'm going to start doing a thing. And then he kept saying he's going to take his followers. Then Greg was like, bro, you're going to try to take my money? No, fuck you. I'm going to, and that's when it got hostile in the latter part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So here we go.
You want to
Let's
see
watch.
abrasive Greg Locke? Let me show you abrasive Greg Locke. Let me show you what happened once.
Yeah, so this is Greg. Well, here we go.
He was trying to resolve a dispute within his congregation, basically. There was some drama going on where people believed that Greg was not following theological doctrine correctly. And you know what Greg did in response? This is abrasive Greg Locke when he wants to resolve some.
We're just going to play the first part of this, and then we'll get back into what's actually going on.
Right here. This is from.
Although I believe most of you know who he is. If you don't know, this is a very good introduction to him.
Oh, God. I don't even know how old this is.
Because once again, we're not for pro Greg Locke at all. The only reason we're doing this is because there's the flat earther.
The thing I find funny is him saying that some of his congregation didn't Locke's congregation to think he was correctly, what is it, something correctly identifying whatever the doctrine or whatever, or correctly interpreting it or whatever.
Yeah.
He's allowed to interpret it how he wants to. There's no correct way to interpret scriptures.
Yeah. So,
you know
anyways,
what I'm
here we go.
July 30th, 2020, I believe.
We got some people under this tent right now. You have the hardest time keeping your mouth shut about your church. So I'm going to sit here for about 15 seconds and just give you a chance to leave anytime
Does he have a stash?
Because we need your seat anyhow.
He has barely.
Or is that a
one.
shadow?
Judgmental
It's barely one.
Pharisee. You can leave anytime you want to. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and let you walk out. If you can call me out behind closed doors, why don't you be man enough, put on your big boy pants,
You don't have to keep your microphone that close to your fucking face.
I know, it's like he's gonna do something with it right there.
I know,
soon.
it's like he's gonna eat it. Like, bro, you know that you spent a good $500,000 probably on your sound system. You literally can keep that like a whole foot away from your mouth. Just like, see how far away my microphone is right now, or how far Telltale's Morgan's microphone is. You don't need to have it stuffed in your face. It's not a gay porn. You don't need to be deep throating it the whole time, bro.
Stand up and walk out right now in front of everybody, you coward. Woo, I'm about fired up this morning. Turn this microphone up. I'm fired up.
And that's not how this works. If you're going to get louder, we don't need to turn your microphone up. We actually need to turn you down.
Fired up.
So anyways, let me get further. When do we see what's his name speaking a little bit more, and we're about ready to get to the place where Greg says, fuck you, get the fuck off my stage.
I get it. Hold on a second. I get it. Has anybody, I've never called you a clown. You called, when you got up talking about this a few weeks ago, you said,
hey, quit saying
No,
a few
no,
weeks
he
ago.
did.
That's the first time I ever even mentioned it. I'm talking about tonight.
Tonight you have been insulted.
Can I say one thing really fast,
No,
Slim?
you've been insulting. This is
That really didn't start happening between Locke and, I mean, them getting this until Greg Locke started bringing up the different scriptures that they use, that people use for to flat earth or something.
Yeah.
That's when this started getting heated. Because he was saying, he was saying, I know you don't use them, you know, Pastor Odell, but other people have used these.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when things started heating up to this point.
And there was another
Didn't
thing.
he use that list from Twitter?
Nathan Roberts?
Twitter, I think. Nathan Roberts, yeah.
Okay,
that
there's
whole
one
list.
Nathan Roberts did, 240 verses proving a flat earth or something.
Yeah, that one.
I think that's pretty much his PowerPoint for 2 hours is all of that.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
But it seemed like when Locke started showing him, this is what this means in context or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when he started having an issue.
And,
That's when
and
all
the
this
other
started
thing
coming
is,
to a boil.
Greg Locke said that he rented a ballroom at a hotel for everybody to go have coffee in the morning or go have an early service. And then as soon as this dude said, no, I'm going to go have my own service and that's when Greg was like, no, you're going to fucking steal my people. Fuck you. No, you're not going to take my money.
Yeah. But it just started escalating from there.
No, totes.
Coming out.
Totes.
That should tell you something.
Yes, exactly, Darren. That's exactly what's happening. They're
of course they are.
You're one of my favorite trolls. I like you being around. You should
hey,
be
Darren, can you tell me
really
why all these flat earthers that tell the truth seem to know all these hidden secrets when they're hidden and they're secret? Can you tell me that?
Good point.
All right, here we blow.
Because it shows that Greg understands the difference between attacking ideas and attacking people.
And I wanted to keep it nice. And listen,
like I said, Greg Locke's smart, but he's doing it for money.
Let me say this very clearly.
You told me that
I think he muted his microphone there because the guy was talking and I didn't hear a word. And then Greg just jumped in.
He did, I think.
That I was involved in a deception. You are. And then when I say it, you're like, oh my goodness,
that's fine.
My feelings are hurt.
We believe each other's deceived in there. That's fine. But when you say moronic, idiotic, when you start going down,
I didn't call you or anybody that. I said we attack ideologies. And as far as
and he said that the idea of flat Earth was Crazy. Okay, so anyways, let's just skip forward, and here we go to
that's
this
the thing
part.
is Greg Locke is calling his message moronic. He's turning around saying, "You're calling me moronic."
Yeah, and that's how
what
you
flat
know that
earthers
Greg,
do.
Yeah, and that's how you know Greg Locke at least is
Mm-hmm.
at least partial head on his shoulders, because he knows how to manipulate. He knows how to how to say the right things. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to say things in the right way, so that he can scapegoat out of them later. By saying, I didn't attack you. I said your ideals, the idea of the theology of anyways.
Which means constellations, not planets. And that's a fact.
And that's not a fact. I mean, one of his arguments, and I'm not even joking here, is the Bible says that the stars will fall to earth in the end and blah, blah, blah. And the globe head model of stars says that they're like gigantic.
Okay, here we go.
I'm deceived, and you can just go ahead and leave and cancel this debate right now because you're not going to convince me what the Bible clearly says.
Now Greg realizes what he was doing, and now the good faith effort ends.
The earth is not flat, 1,000%. And if I got people in our church that think it is, that's great. I love you. But if you want to go to his little service in the morning, then go to his service in the morning.
I wouldn't have pushed people to his service.
It's not going to bother me one bit. The earth is not flat. It was disproven 2,500 years ago.
Yeah, but that's what he does. He kind of pushes.
Locke wasn't pushing in a way. He was saying, "Hey, if they want to make that choice, let them."
Yeah, then that's
and
what
he was
kind of saying. He was kind of saying if you want to leave my flock, fucking go for it, you little pussy, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's doing what everybody does. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. Do you know?
Yeah, it's what a narcissist would say or whatever.
Yeah.
Fine, just leave then, because I didn't want you here anyway.
You can't show me one verse in the Bible that proves that the earth is flat. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. We're not going to get anywhere else because here's the problem. You use 2 hours of PowerPoint presentation and your people are quiet. I use an hour and 15 minutes of the Bible and they get mad and start throwing maters.
Oh, it wasn't just Odell's people. It was everybody. It was even Greg's people that were cheering him and yelling and booing and stuff all through the debate. It was nuts.
Okay.
All right.
So,
here's the deal. Let me just say this, and I'm walking out now.
Final words. Okay, lay him on me there.
But I want to say this.
Below.
Oh, listen, your folks are standing up yelling, "Go, get out." Okay, you know what? That's fine with me. Here's the deal. I gave you the scriptures. He gave you his version.
It's always somebody else's version.
Hold on.
This is nonsense.
You came up with your scriptures and gave your interpretation of them. I gave.
No, this guy interpreted them completely differently.
Yes.
And a regular, normal, natural reading of this is not stars are really tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it matters on which version you're translating from into whatever, and you have to remember that because it's been translated through so many different versions of different languages. It's not exact language.
Exactly.
So you can't pick it apart like it's exact. And once again, words mean different things throughout different time periods, through different cultures. Just like different.
And then again, the first versions were not written; they were told.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever did the thing in preschool that somebody had to tell you speak a sentence in your ear, and you have to tell it to the next person, and next person, and next person, and next person, and then actually after 15 times or something, see what's coming out. It's completely different.
Exactly. So once again, there's all that, and then whichever version somebody wants to put to get their thing, like King James Bible and a handful of other things. Anyways, let's watch him throw the microphone.
And they're going to be like meteorites that run into people. A natural, normal reading of this is not the earth is God's literal footstool and Jupiter is his hairbrush. Okay, that's not what the Bible was saying.
I gave you the Bible interpretation.
I gave you the Bible. I gave more Bible than you did, for a fact, right there. All right.
Well, the guy cut Greg off actually after like an hour. Greg didn't even get to finish his stuff before he jumped up here and took the mic and started yelling at Greg.
That's exactly what happened.
Really?
He took control.
Well,
he took over and wanted to take control of the situation.
Yeah.
In your rebuttal, I'll keep my mouth shut, and you tell me how wrong I was about your misapplication of the ring stamping in Job chapter 38.
Okay, this is one of his arguments, the ring stamping thing in Job 38. It's complicated, but basically the verse was used by flat earthers to say God stamped the earth down like a stamp, basically.
Like a seal.
And that meant that it was flat.
Yeah.
But the actual real context behind the verse was it wasn't talking about like the earth being flat. It's talking about the sunrise coming over the mountains, basically. That's the natural reading of it. That's what was actually intended. But of course, Odo believes there are no metaphors. There's no nothing. It's all literal.
It's all literal.
It's all literal.
It's all literal. Yeah.
Even though when you do stamping of certain types of things, it can be curved and or other shapes. It doesn't have to be just flat.
Exact verbiage and apocalyptic writing. That's it.
Chapter 38.
First of all,
in this case, Doorknob
Is
Head,
it
we're
sunrise or
defending
not?
Greg Locke in
Not at all.
some ways.
I don't
Yes.
agree with
Turn his mic off. Get out.
So here we blow. Here we blow.
Mhm.
Yep, there we go.
You're a Bible
And then
guy.
he knocks. Then
He tosses it to him, and then Greg Locke goes, and knocks
And he
it down.
yeah, exactly. Totally.
Yeah, Doorknob Head. Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of supporting Greg Locke to a point.
To a point.
To a point. A very small point. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Darren, don't get me started, please.
All right, so we're going to end it with this.
I know.
You're welcome, everybody.
Oh God, Cece, yes.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC
Wackadoodle.
From New York,
Yeah.
Westchester County.
What's the fastest
Wacko.
way out of here?
Jetpack. Do you actually have a jetpack? No. What? Wait. I've got an underground bunker. Just tell me. I haven't dug it yet. Oh, what
I haven't dug it yet.
Run out of options. Just pretend to be dead. I'll be here.
They now say
Oh my
that we're
God.
in a solar system bubble.
That was great.
Yeah. I guess the whole universe is in a bubble, right? That makes a lot of sense.
I will
Jesus
put this
Christ.
as eloquently and succinctly as possible. Get me the hell out of here!
Nonsense that they just spew out to reinforce space. Because they can't do anything. You're not going anywhere. You'll never land anywhere because there's nowhere to land
Citation
except
needed.
here on Earth.
Can't just come up to
Is there
people
like
trying
a button to press so we can skip him talking?
Just
Come on,
start
skip,
saying
skip.
weird stuff to get
It's not
everybody.
working, but
I don't want to have to bullshit with you. That's not what I'm about, you know, man.
Come on, skip.
That's the only place you're landing, or crash landing into the ocean. That's it. You're not going anywhere. You never will.
Yep.
You will be fed fake pictures of probes going around somewhere in Arizona or I don't know.
What?
Some mysterious island that nobody knows about because there's definitely more land, guys. That's right.
Am I right? Am I right? I deserve
Yeah, we were just talking about the extra lands, and of course, CC believes in that bullshit.
I'm not even a doctor.
Yes, I'm not even a doctor.
Somebody wasn't going to come out and tell you live on a flat land. You got to figure that out yourself. You can sit there and talk to somebody about flat Earth, but
This motherfucker drives like half of his life, and he doesn't understand how miles are everything that somebody tells him to go to some place. It fucking calculates properly.
Right.
Even if it's on a small scale, like you can't fake it on a small scale, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to not scaling. He doesn't of course, he doesn't fucking understand size. Look at his fucking hair. He doesn't know how to make his hair not look like it's a fucking pompadour. Anyway,
you
You gotta say, at least CC does have good hair. I mean, come on.
He does have good hair.
That's the only thing good going for him. Is his
It's
hair.
only because of his genes. It's nothing to do with other.
That's true. I'm just saying, but that's the only good thing he has going for him.
That's all he has going for
have
him.
to figure out how to take apart this ridiculous spinning wet ball and have it crumble down on a table in front of your eyes.
And I don't want you to take this the wrong
Yeah, but how does a flat Earth work then? If I have to deconstruct it and reconstruct it into something else, how does that work?
And then you look at the mess that you created, that it could never be put back together again.
Except for that's how gravity works, and if you have a bunch of things that are spinning around each other in a certain way with lack of atmosphere until you get into a certain place where you have atmosphere around a thing, and then things are spinning around each other, and then things turn into balls. That's what things want to turn into because the more that you spin them around and the more things that hit them, the more blah, blah, blah.
Sweet Commander.
So it's just because your brain is smooth doesn't mean everything else isn't as
His brain
smooth
is
as your
smoother than a
brain.
cue ball.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You are out of your damn little pea-sized mind. What is wrong with you?
What's your flat earther? That's it.
Oh, Al Trucker, I feel bad for the disabled people who can't even get away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Thankfully, I think he only does this when he's sitting there waiting for people because he's like, "What do I do now? Oh, I'll just rant into my phone." You know?
Yeah, but one of the main problems is he probably like sputters this out to the people that are like in the van
He's
like driving, and they're like, "I can't move. I'm stuck here, and I gotta listen."
I remember
to this
last year he did a
flapper."
video after Thanksgiving. He was bitching about how his family was with him about during Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah,
because I think he couldn't shut his mouth long enough with his family to not talk about the flat Earth. He just had to, you know. And they're like, "Dude, give it." They're probably like, "Dude, give it a fucking rest already. It's Thanksgiving. Just shut the fuck up. Go sit at the kids' table," you know, or something like that.
Dude,
we're watching football, dude. Shut up.
It was an industrial nurse that found this video of his wife in the cinema that he was renting.
Yes, they were in Industrial Nerd found it. They're in a cinema watching Super Mario Brothers. I guess it was their daughter's birthday or something. And you hear him saying, he starts talking about flat Earth, and she's like, "You need to see a psychiatrist." "I already did. He kicked me out of his office."
Yeah. I don't know what he has.
But why does he leave that up
around?
I don't know.
But
Why did he leave
must
the
be
idiot one
something.
up with his wife calling him an idiot? He still has that up on his channel.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, folks. This is about where we're gonna take it for tonight. Today.
Gotta love CC. Gotta
whatever.
love CC.
Thank you all for being here. If you're watching this in the future, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications if you would like to see more of this stuff. Does anybody want to say anything before we get the fuck out of here?
No, if you haven't seen it, I did a What the Hell Karen today. I have two really good Karens in it. I suggest you go watch it. Bring popcorn. It's popcorn worthy. Trust me. You'll enjoy them.
I'm checking it out tomorrow. I
Okay.
gotta go into the city. So I'll be stuck in traffic a long time.
It's that Michael Jackson and popcorn moment where he's in Thriller and he's smiling.
yeah.
It's that kind of moment for you
Classic
guys.
me.
Nice. Awesome.
Yes.
Classic.
So I got a new vehicle, so now I will be definitely around a lot more. I'll be doing the streams that we normally had set up. So I don't know exactly what we're doing Monday for Crazy Shite yet. I think Pip probably will be doing something tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to tomorrow. We'll let you all know. We'll Discord it and everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll let y'all know. And then drunk news and dumb things politicians say, and I don't know what
every day, isn't it?
No, that's the main thing is we're gonna go over like
A few
in the last 24 hours dumb things that they say, or we'll find things or a compilation of like Major Green Twat saying stuff stupid or something like that. So we'll figure that out when we get to there. And then I don't know exactly what we're going to do for Thursday, but it'll be something fun and we'll keep going. And then the closer we get to the holidays, we'll do stuff about the holiday stuff, like why we bring fucking trees into our fucking house like weirdos, and why red and white is a thing, and a handful of other stuff. We'll go over old school medieval traditions. Yeah, and all the other stuff about the histories of different cultures, why they celebrate this at this certain time and stuff and things. And then what New Year's Eve is as well, or how it was celebrated throughout different cultures and stuff like that and things. So thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you next time. There's going to be something happening in the near future, Commander and a bunch of us. I don't know how to present that yet, but there is some major project or some project that will be happening soon in the near future, with a rebirth of, I'm gonna say, a certain channel.
Okay.
And I think I can say that. And so everybody watch out for that, and we'll tell everybody in the near future about what's happening with that.
Okay.
Revitalization of the rebirth of sperm whale and Jesus.
Oh,
Never
you
mind.
mean,
Never mind.
you
Never.
mean the gray whale? Oh no.
The gray whale of the.
Oh no, jeez, and baby carrot. No, come on.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm Commander type this, so I can say it. We are going to do a reboot of the old Shills channel.
Mm-hmm.
What that entails, y'all will have to find out and see exactly what's happening with that, because it should be something amazing and fun and stuff and fun.
Right.
I'm excited for
You were an
future
original
of
skill,
that.
weren't you?
Yes.
Not original, but I did a show. They still have it on called The Uncalled For.
Yeah.
And I did it for about 6 months, and then some shit happened, and I was summarily tossed out on my keister from the Shills.
And
for
I was
something
on
I
for
never
a-
did.
Yeah, and I was on for a second and blah blah blah, but
Mhm.
we're definitely down for the rebirth of this, and to check out what we have in the future for all of the stuff
Yeah.
and things. There's a couple other projects that are happening, and there may be somebody rejoining us back again on this channel, but we'll talk about that as soon as we know that for sure. So thank y'all
Right.
very much for being here and hanging out and showing us some love. Please make sure that you do like and hit the bell notifications. If you could watch things over and over again, or go watch some of our old stuff in the
Mhm.
background, you really don't even have to
Just
have
watch
it
it all night,
on volume.
long on
Just
repeat.
put it on, and you could also you
Yeah.
could just mute it and just let it
keep-
go.
Just remember to
Yeah.
lick it an odd number of times.
Yeah, you gotta
You
look at it
can
on number
fa-
of times, right?
You can fap it looking at me half naked. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to listen. You can just. I'm just kidding. And speaking of that devil, we may be doing gaming streams on Twitch, because they actually changed their
They did. I
nudity
saw that.
law.
I
So
didn't get into it, but I
actually
saw their.
I
What's
can
his face?
actually go on
Penguin
here like
Zero.
this.
Penguins. What's his
Yeah.
face? Charlie.
Yeah,
Was
exactly.
going
Charlie.
through it. I haven't looked
Yeah,
at it yet.
so maybe I'll start nude streaming on Twitch. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Al says, don't forget about his new Flurf song.
Where's the new Flurf song? Did you post a fucking thingy?
I thought I did. at one point.
Where?
Al, can you post the link, or do you
where
want me to
is
post it? It's on his channel.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
can't do it from here because I'm on this stupid app.
Okay. He said it's on your Discord. I'm not sure where on your Discord. Here. Hang on. I'll post a link if you want me to. God damn this stupid YouTube thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Post. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm
All
going to
right,
grab it.
and if not, send it to me, Al, before the next stream, and then we'll play it for sure. So, anyways, we're gonna begin getting the F out of here. Thank y'all very much. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully on Pips.
Okay, it's in private
stream.
chat, Slim.
Okay. And if you want to follow her, go to in the description and follow her.
Oops.
Okay. My computer's not playing it for some reason.
Okay.
We'll do that next time.
We'll upload it for
Al.
next time, Al. Okay.
Yeah. We'll. It was buffering really bad for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways,
Yeah.
We'll play it next time. Anyways, thank you all very much. Everybody say goodbye again. We're gonna get the F
Goodbye.
out
And
of
Darren, if
here.
you're still here, I didn't find you rude. I just found some of the things you say little, the way you're pushing him is just a little
He was
too much.
he's one of the trolls. He's just
I know.
he's
And I don't
just
mind
a-
sparring
Yeah,
with
but the
trolls,
last
but when
few
they get
things,
a little like they do sometimes, it's hard not
Yeah.
to be
It's
respectful.
okay.
But
He
it's
deserves
okay.
he deserves a spanking. We all know. Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes, and not a good spanking either.
Yeah, you're welcome, doorknob head. Jesus Christ. I never thought I'd ever read that, but okay. All right.
Well, you didn't really read it. You just kind of looked at it and
No,
then said,
well,
"You're welcome."
yeah, no, I was not going to read that out loud, even though but I never thought I would read that sentence in my whole life. Anyways, thank you all very much
That's
for
funny.
being here.
Thank you
Everybody say
guys. Thank you for being here.
bye.
Have a good night. Bye.